Hey, TJ.
Hey, what's up?
How you doing?
I'm doing good. How about you?
Pretty good. I'm Josh Verlin, City of Basketball Love. I can't remember if we talked last year or not, to be honest. I think you talked with one of my writers, but happy to meet you either way. So I just wanted to talk a little bit about, this season and how things are going so far. Nice win today, moved to 3-1. I mean, how do you feel like, things are going for the first, week, 10 days of this year?
I think things are going great right now. Honestly, we're getting better every game, and you can tell through the film, and you can just see it on the court. So I like what we're doing here.
I mean, obviously, that opening loss to Pitt, guys didn't play awesome, especially on the defensive end. And then the 3 games since, you guys have looked really good, kind of fixed all the things that you would have hoped to have fixed coming into the year. Was it just a matter of just like, all right, that first game was high major opponent, let's just throw that one out there, first game of the year? Like, how easy was it to move past that one? Because it looks like you guys didn't have much problem with it.
We treated it as like a normal game. Like, we don't look at it, like, we don't give ourselves excuses just because it's the first game. So we just touched up on defense and fixed what we had to fix in order to be better for these next few games.
What was the summer like for you? I mean, obviously it was weird for everybody with COVID.
Yeah.
Were you down in Georgia?
Yeah, I was in Georgia, so everything was pretty much open still.
Oh, all right. So, you, I guess, maybe had a little easier than some of the local kids. So who, like, were you working out at your high school gym? Like, what was your sort of daily regimen?
I would work out with Chuck Persons at this gym in Marietta, and sometimes I'd be at my high school gym too. Like, anywhere I could go to get in some work, honestly, I had to jump around a lot. So.
And would that be with other D1 guys or other former high school teammates?
Oh yeah, it was a mixture of everyone. Like, some of my high school teammates, we'd go to Sandy Creek, play some pickup and work out. And then the other times in Marietta, I would just go and work out as well. With some
any notable guys like that are playing elsewhere in college ball that you would do these workouts with?
I did work out with there were some NBA players now, like Jared Harper. He's with the Knicks now. I worked out with him. Can't remember off the top of my head, to be honest. But,
I mean, obviously you've got the NBA connection. Like, is it different now when you work out with the NBA guys, now being in college, now, pushing yourself to get better? Like, do you start to, take that more and more seriously as you're getting older?
Oh, yeah. I always have. It's just starting, like, I just see myself growing and being able to compete more and more. And I just like the work and competition.
Yeah, I guess I shouldn't say not that you weren't taking it seriously before, but like you start to kind of the measuring stick, I guess, gets a little closer and closer each time.
Yeah, it's starting to click. Like, you can see the change like each year.
So what did you learn from your freshman season? Like when you went to the summer, like what were you like, all right, I really need to get better at A, B, and C?
Freshman season, I realized I need to get better at shooting and overall just like development, like around with finishing and things like that. So I made sure I got stronger, worked on my touch around the basket, and also worked on my 3-point shot.
I mean, you had like a 16-point game, against Temple last year, and I think you had like 10 or 11 the game after that. Do you feel like, did that give you maybe like a little overinflated sense of confidence? Like, oh, like this freshman year is going to be easy.
No, I don't know. It was like my first game of college basketball, so I still didn't really know what to expect. But I just enjoyed the moment, honestly.
When did you get the sense? Was it game one? Was it against Quinnipiac? Is it still developing? Like, when could you tell that, like, okay, this year is going differently for me? I'm getting my production in different ways, in a more sustainable fashion.
I noticed that the first game, I thought I played very like poised and under control and made the right plays, and I think that's when I finally realized.
I mean, obviously, like, this team has raised expectations. It's, the first time in, 6 or 7 years that they've really been picked to compete in the CAA. And obviously, like, if that's going to be true, the sophomore class, you and Mate are really going to have to step up. Mm-hmm. Was that something like, were you cognizant of that, like going into the year? Were you aware, like, okay, like I'm really going to have to play a big role if this team is going to live up to its expectations?
Yes, I did. With our former foreman, Sam Green, and Jarvis Doles leaving, I knew I would have to step up, so I made sure I put in some extra work to be able to fulfill that spot.
I mean, it seems like from outwardly, like all the things that you would want to have happen. I know we're only 4 games in, but the upperclassmen are playing well.
Mhm.
You've been playing well. Mate's been playing well. The freshmen have been, doing their thing. I mean, where's the program at in terms of its confidence level right now?
We're very confident in our abilities, and I think we're using them very good. So I say just be ready for the future. Some great things coming.
What do you think about the freshmen? And especially, 3 of them have really been, playing a lot these last few games, contributing.
Uh, they're very nice. Like you can see them grow and get better like day by day. They're starting to surprise a lot of people with some talents that people might not have known that they had. So I like what they're doing. Honestly, they're all really good.
I mean, Amari hit you with that no look pass there.
Yes. I,
Were you ready for that? Like, have you played enough with him yet to know like that could be coming, or did that take you by surprise at all?
yeah, no. Trust me. In practice, he does that a lot. Like I knew he would throw it. I told him on the bench. I was like, I knew he was gonna throw that. I knew you saw me. That was a crazy pass. And he was just laughing. But yeah, he has that ability. So.
Did he get you by surprise with that? Like when he first started, when you guys first were having practices? Because I know he was also teammates with Mate back in England. So like, were you prepared for it at all, or did it catch
Uh,
you by surprise?
he caught me by surprise. I didn't know he could pass like that. Honestly, it was funny.
What do you think? As you guys have now a couple big city games coming up, schedule gets a little tougher, and then starting to prepare for league play. What do you feel like you guys need to really dial in on?
I think we need to dial in some more on some defense. Make sure we keep getting better, getting as good as we can on that, and I think that'll help us.
Cool. Thanks, TJ. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Have a good one.
You too.
Oh, okay. I assumed that was going to be one continuous.
I guess we'll hear from Zach in a couple of minutes.
I guess so.
I gotta say, I mean, I miss being at games, and I don't know if Mike mentioned, like my wife was just feeling a little under the weather this morning, and so I was like, you know what, better play it safe, just stay home today. But like, it is kind of nice to be able to just watch the game on my TV, do a one-on-one interview, and not have to leave. Hey, Rob.
Hold on. Like it right now.
Okay. Hey, Zach. Just me today. How you doing?
Doing well. What's up, man? Can you hear me all right?
Yeah, let me turn you up a little bit. Yeah, I gotcha. So 3-1, other than the maybe opening minute or two, looked like you guys were playing pretty well today. Where do you feel like the program's at this point?
Well, I thought our opponent today played at a pretty elite energy level to start. And, I think they play really hard. They have a unique style of play. And we were able to respond. I mean, they had a great start. We had a very bad start. But I thought we were able to respond and really execute and keep them from performing at a pace. I mean, they're willing to go up and down and turn into a track meet. And that's not something we want to do to be successful. We've got a little bit more of a low post presence with James Butler, Tim Perry, and Amari Williams. Tadas didn't play today, but all those guys can score down low. So I think that's helpful. I thought we kind of handled that initial surge that was pretty significant. As you prepare for a team, that's not how you want to start the game. But I thought we did a good job. Excuse me.
I mean, if you look at sort of like the blueprint of like what you would want to see from your team coming into the year, which would be, defensive improvement, upperclassmen leading the way, sophomore improvement, freshmen contributing. Do you feel like you're liking what you're seeing in the key areas that coming into the year had to improve?
Well, it's a small sample size, right? It is only 4 games. But
I got to write on something.
But 4 games is a bigger sample size this year because we're not playing as many. So I think our 3-point defense has been good. I thought, they had 23. They took 40 last game. I thought we worked hard to keep them at that number. The teams we've played so far have taken a lot of threes. We did a good job on Quinnipiac. So defense, I'd look to see what our 2-point percentage was, but I thought to hold them to 7 for 28 in the second half is pretty big, right? So that was 6 for 27 from 2. So I think our defensive field goal percentage is better. And I think that, the big point for the season also is taking care of the basketball, Josh. And we had 15 turnovers today. That last game we had 7, but I still think we're doing a much better job taking care of the basketball. So we're defending and taking care of it. And we hit some shots today. Still not a great percentage, but we hit more shots today than we had before.
Yeah, Okros had, just a little bit of a mini slump just for 3 games. I know, very small sample size, but must be good to see him have a game where you started to see him splash down like that.
Yeah, I actually think he probably had 1 or 2 more I wish he would have taken, and maybe one he cut where he's supposed to be open and shoot it. But he's one of the best shooters in our conference, one of the best shooters on our team. So when it leaves his hand, I think we all feel like it's going in. I don't care what his numbers. I think he was 1 for 11 going to the game. I didn't even just kind of rolled my eyes at it. I know that that's not going to be the case long term. If you're around our program, you see his approach before practice. You see how he works. It was a matter of time. So, and now hopefully he can keep it going. So that's a hard one to guard. And you've got Okros out there, and certainly Cam Winter shooting at 50% from 3 to start the season. He's made improvement every season as a 3-point shooter, and certainly he's off to a good start as well.
So I just had a nice chat with TJ. 10 points today gives him 4 consecutive double-figure games to start the year. How are your, I know we talked a little bit about him the last game, but I'm going to be writing more prominently about him this week. So, your thoughts on his improvement and how important that's been to getting off to a 3-1 start.
Yeah, I think TJ's got a motor. Excuse me. Sorry, I don't know what that was. I froze. I think TJ's got a motor, and when TJ goes after the ball, he makes plays. He's so active on the glass. So to get the rebounds, I'm looking at the stat sheet here: 8 rebounds, 2 offensive. That probably doesn't count keeping the ball alive a couple of times where it doesn't even end up in his hands. So he's a live body. He plays to his strengths. He's improved his perimeter game, 3-point shooting, but more importantly, only 1 turnover. I thought a lot of times TJ was played to charge or turnover drive, and he's done a much better job taking care of the basketball. So that's been our point of emphasis for everybody as a program, and certainly from him as well. I'm going to decline this phone call.
I was like, oh, that's not me. Okay. Whew.
Not me.
Also, it looks like Amari Williams is starting to, earn some pretty good minutes in the rotation. What do you like about what he brings to the floor?
Well, I thought his style of play today, we just need a safety valve. Just throw it up to him. He's 6'10", 7'3" wingspan, whatever it is. He goes up and get it, and then you're just kind of looking, and he was able to find some guys. So I thought the looks were clean. Amari provides some depth. I thought all our freshmen help us. Amari and Lamar got in there. X didn't play as much today, and if you can imagine freshman guard, that's a tough one. You kind of throw him to the wolves a little bit right there in that environment. But I think Xavier Bell has continued to make progress and been very good too.
What are your critiques? What are you most concerned about? Got 2 Big 5 games coming up. What's the focus going to be on this week?
I still think there's some defensive things we can clean up. I still think we can, get in some gaps a little bit better defensively. And, I watch those turnovers closely. Early on, that start to that game was anything but what we've done in practice. So we just got to get better. It's all about little things. Little things are what make your program, you never want to have to get back to the basics because you should never leave the basics. So we're going to continue to be a team that focuses on the fundamentals and the basics and take them out of rhythm from 3 and then make sure they shoot hard 2s.
We talked before the season about, one of your hopes for this year was that it was going to have the best role development and role understanding, because of the guys returning, the freshmen coming in, no expectations of how to be starting over this guy. Has that made any noticeable difference? Because obviously from the outside, it certainly seems like that is setting up the way you wanted it to be. Any noticeable differences in practice or in huddles or in sort
I
of
think I think that we've got a veteran presence, and they've got a voice. And I think we've got a veteran presence, and they understand what we need to do to be successful, and they're hungry. You know, we've been here. We want to get over the hump, move the needle here, have a chance to compete for a championship. And I think that a lot of teams that have done that have older players on their roster and do that. So hopefully the roles evolve and change because guys compete and earn and are more deserving of opportunities. No one's cheering for one person. We just want to see the best product. You know, I thought we had a really, really competitive practice yesterday. I thought that, you know, it's good for our guys to compete like that. And I thought we came out, and I think that served us well today, even though it was a hectic style of play.
Thanks, Zach. Appreciate it.
Hey, guys, thank you very much. Continue to wear your mask. All right.